Hello, everybody. I'm back to continue the reading that we started a couple days ago. I enjoyed my 2 days of just dropping in and enjoying looking back over the past year and all I've achieved and all the growth and all the progress. It was really nice to just have a very reflective, calm, relaxing birthday where I had an opportunity to review my year and set my intention for this next trip around the sun. And now I'm really looking forward to continuing this reading with you all. I did get a storage card, so hopefully, I have more recording time. But if it works out, we're going to have to keep doing, shorter videos to finish this out. I will, but I think in the future, I'm probably going to stick with lives for the most part. I like to be able to just go off. So, but I'm going to finish out this series pre-recorded, okay? And I just want to kind of cleanse the space while I do a little review of where we left off. We left off with that Three of Wands, right, that fell on the floor. And we were talking about how there's been a lot of waiting for the ships to come in and that there might be some frustration present, sort of feeling like, is it ever going to happen? I feel like I've been waiting forever. I've done all this work, I've done the tough stuff. I've done the letting go. I've done the emotional processing. I've been working my ass off. Like, where's my reward, man? Where's my reward? And you just really have to trust in that divine timing, Appreciate the pause, because what I keep getting, the download coming in is that there will be a time when you will be very grateful for a pause, when you would wish you had more of a pause, because I feel like that energy, especially with that full energy coming in, kind of the overarching theme of the year, and also that temperance, the balancing energy, right? And the sign associated with that of Sagittarius and what that means in terms of expansion of energy. There's going to be a time when you'll be grateful for downtime. So appreciate the pauses. They really do offer an opportunity to reflect on what you've learned, reflect on your growth, reflect on your accomplishments, as well as areas where you can improve, how you would do things differently, and sort of set the stage for your debut into this next trip around the sun and all you wanted to offer. We've already determined that love looks like it's a big part of the picture. So whether you've been in a committed relationship and going through challenges and experiencing struggles with your partner, it looks like, things are really going to smooth out on that level. So like the emotional piece is kind of taken care of. And that has everything to do with the work you've done on yourself, where you've come to inside of yourself. It makes you in a position where you're no longer overextending yourself. You're also not, overly guarded or, not giving, not investing where you really want to. You're being wise about how you invest your energy. And you're pulling your energy back from what doesn't nourish and doesn't fulfill, and it's just kind of empty promises, and you're really putting it into what matters to you and what you're wanting to create for yourself in your life on all levels, and also in partnership. And if you're single, there's definitely soulmate energy coming in. If you're looking, there is soulmate energy coming in. Likewise, possibility for reunions too. So look for soul tribe coming back around. This emotional piece is definitely a big theme, but it really has everything to do with where you've come within yourself and the work that you've done that's led you here, and being willing to like fucking Queen of Swords dead that shit from the past, that energy that was just not meeting you where you were at. And it's okay, not everybody is going to be on your level, Everybody is working their own paths. They got their own stuff to deal with. Those points don't always meet up when paths cross, okay? Sometimes people breeze through to teach a lesson. But you've done this work of really letting go of what no longer serves, seeing areas where, you know, you needed to improve yourself, doing your shadow work, doing that integration work, and choosing to, you know, bring your energy forward on a higher rung of the spiral. So I understand this desire, like, please, can we just like see the reward for all that work and all that effort? Because it does feel like a lot of drudgery, right? A lot of just slogging away in the trenches. And there were other cards that flew out with that Three of Wands. We haven't looked at those yet. I'm going to look at those with you, right? We're going to have a look at what else is coming in with that. So what does it look like when the ship comes in? I'm just offering up a little bit of that tobacco, spirit candy. Want to keep the spirits happy, you know, keep that gate open so the guidance that we need can come through. That guidance that is in alignment with what will carry us forward on our paths in the most empowering way. Ashe. So we're going to have a look at what other cards, you know, came up here. I'm excited to see the energy that's coming in. First, we got here Two of Pentacles, okay, in reverse. So this is what needs to be corrected, right? When I look at this in terms of looking at the relationship element, okay, because that's coming in front and center for the new energy coming in. I see this as, in the past, you know, there's been too much juggling, you know? Now this could actually be third-party situations, you know? Somebody keeping their options open, dealing with you. Can also be a case of like somebody prioritizing something above the relationship, so that, you know, that could be like the pursuit of money, you know, or just investing their energy in other directions rather than really meeting and equally contributing to the relationship. But definitely, you know, this can be a card of dealing with, you know, somebody who had multiple players, you know, involved, third-party situation. And with this being upside down, I see this as, that's not going to fly. You know, that's not going to fly for Libra Suns. They're like not interested in anything superficial at this point, you know. It really is about holding that standard of a true soul connection, which is what you're looking for with that Two of Cups, you know, and the fulfillment of that in the Ten of Cups. And you can't find that if somebody's got their energy divided amongst multiple people, right? If what you're looking for is that one-on-one, you know, soul union. Now, there's a lot of different approaches to love. You know, some people are into polyamory. But when you're looking at a picture like this, you know, where Two of Pentacles is so out of balance, you know, that with that upside down energy, you know, it shows that needs aren't being met, you know, that it's not rewarding. It's not a rewarding exchange. It's very lopsided. It's uneven. It's not balanced. The Libras are all about balance, you know, and that's more important to us than ever before. So Libras aren't going to be accepting that. And I really see that there is this trend of Libra moving away. Ooh, look at that. Lights out on that. I'm going to take that as a confirmation, you know. Lights out on that. That's not the way we're going to move forward. Pretty wild. That that went out like that right at that moment. We're gonna roll with it though, you know. We're just gonna roll with the energy and trust that that was a message, you know, that needed to come through. Lights out. We're done with that, you know. And it's funny because I pay attention to every little thing that happens in a reading. And this sign here, you know, it says theater. It's like, okay, I'm done with the show. Like, let's get real here. All right? Let's cut the crap. I'm looking for somebody who can get real with me. That's sort of like where Libras are at. They've done so much deep work that, you know, they don't feel the need to invest in anything that's going to be superficial. It's just, why bother, right? When you've gone to a really deep place, you've done a lot of deep healing work on yourself, and that's been your focus for a long period of time. I mean, really, honestly, this has been sort of the theme, just with all the heavy influences astrologically, especially with like this dance that Pluto did with Libra for a number of years. Libras have really been dealing with a lot of tough, integrative soul work since the close of 2009. You know, that's a long time. And when you've done that kind of work and you've gone to these deep places inside of yourself, and you've, you know, went right into the center of the wound, and you had to do that integrative healing work, and you had to look at all the ugly shit you haven't wanted to look at. Like, you don't want somebody who's gonna fucking be superficial with you, who's gonna just bob along the surface with you. You want somebody who can fucking dive deep with you. You know, you want somebody that like mirrors your soul, right? And I hear this lately, you know, even in reading Libras, you know, having sessions with Libras where they're kind of like, you know, I'm sort of done with the playtime stuff. I want to get real. I want to get real with somebody. If I'm gonna invest in love, it needs to be real. It needs to be deep. It needs to be meaningful. They need to be all in. So this is really a theme coming up for Libra Sun natives, and lights out. You know, Spirit spoke. Lights out on that. You know, the show is over. You know, let's get to what's behind the curtain. Okay. When the show is over, what's behind the curtain? What's really there, you know? When you take away all the props, when you take away, you know, the clever lines, you know, what is the heart? And that's really what Libras are getting down to. And I mean, my lighting isn't so great now since that light went out. I will try to turn it on again in a minute, but this is the Lovers, okay? Major Arcana card. I mean, talk about a love theme coming in for this cycle, you know, of fall 2021 through fall 2022. Wow. I mean, look at that. We got 2 of Cups, 10 of Cups, the Lovers, right? So this is definitely like soulmate connection. And this particular Lovers card is very interesting. It's not like most Lovers cards. Most Lovers cards that you see in the tarot, it really looks like there's this conflict that's present in the Lovers. And that's sort of the traditional meaning, that there's like a choice to be made, right? And even though in the traditional interpretation, like if you look at a Rider-Waite deck, you'll see the couple, they may be standing together, but they're kind of like looking in different directions. And this card is very different. On this card, he is just so in adoration of her. I wish it would show up. You know? They look very smitten with each other. They're very consumed with each other. And there's this aura of like magic and fantasy and all the things that are delightful about when you first fall in love with somebody, right? So that's really carrying forward that energy that came in about this like 10 of Cups, you know, and the full energy, this new adventure, this new beginning. and the opening and the expansion, you know, all these pieces coming in. And it's interesting because they're on top of this like swan, you know, they're just floating along on this swan, and swans are all about grace, right? So this is all about that divine timing we were talking about, right? That serendipity, synchronicity. You know, when something's fated, when something's destiny, that's the type of, you know, love connection that's coming in. And it looks like there will be a message in relation to this. You know, I see a message coming in, and I really envision that this will happen probably within the next 2 months. You know, I think by the close of the year, probably in the holiday season, you know, there's going to be some kind of message that comes through that will sort of give you a clue about this opening, you know, this lover's theme coming in. So be mindful of that. I'm going to do a breakdown too, where after we get through these cards and I do any clarification, I'm going to just do like one card per month for the entire year. And it'll just be like a little blip read of each position, and what that means, and what the energy for that month will be, so you can kind of keep your eyes out open for that. And, you know, again, here we go. Crossing energy, we got King of Cups, all right? Which is always seen as like the romantic partner, okay? It's also associated with water element. So Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Like I said, I'm going to call out the astrological signs. These can be actual, you know, people that you deal with have these signs strongly aspected in their chart, especially in dealing with cups. They're so emotional. I would especially pay attention to moon sign, you know. They could have a Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio moon if you're dealing with somebody, or that could be their sun sign. But it could just be these qualities, right? Which is somebody who is in touch with their emotions. They are able to express their emotions in healthy ways. They are able to connect emotionally, and they are emotionally available, and they are wanting to invest in a romantic connection. They're wanting to invest in a partnership, okay? This is an energy that showed up upright as well, but it showed up as the crossing energy, which means this is the energy that's like coming in. This is the influencing energy, is the arrival of this, you know, King of Cups energy. This is totally turning into a love reading. And to be honest with you, I did not anticipate this at all. And it's very interesting because all of the past energy was very swords and wands energy. So it's like all this like conflict energy with a little bit of pentacles thrown in, mental conflict, and, you know, fiery combative energy, and that's all what was sort of the foundation of what led up to now. And now the energy is moving all towards this cups energy. So it really gives me the sense that there was a lot that needed to be cleared just to be able to get to that place of emotional receptivity and really, you know, letting the heart come forward, and all this old like garbage that needed to be cleared out. I'm getting that song from Erykah Badu, so give it a listen. Bag Lady, right? That energy of bag lady, you know, you needed to put down the bags, man. And in doing that, you were able to come to this place where you really stepped into that Empress energy, right? Because that's also something that came in that was crowning the reading, is moving into that Empress energy, moving into that self-mastery of the four queens, the Queen of Swords, the Queen of Wands, the Queen of Cups, the Queen of Pentacles, and really being able to hold all of that, being in your element, in and of yourself, right? Fulfilled in and of yourself. And because of that, being able to really be ready to meet another and to be receptive to another. And it looks like that energy is coming in. So, curious here, you know, bottom of the deck energy is just like in the past, it's always been a situation of 10 of Wands, you know, feeling like you were doing all the work in the relationship. You were the one who, you know, wanted to address problems, wanted to address issues. You carried the bulk of the weight in your connections. And a lot of times you felt 5 of Pentacles, like you were really on your own. And emotionally, you know, just depleted. Didn't have your needs met. You know? But there's a lot of hope coming in. You know, that energy is really shifting with the star. With the star, there's definitely reason to feel hopeful. And that has everything to do with you standing up for yourself, 7 of Wands. And saying, you know what, it's okay. I deserve better than that. I'll 10 of Swords, man. I'll take the fucking L. I will take the L. I will take the L. Fuck Queen of Swords that shit. I will fucking King of Swords that shit. Right? And we talked about earning that Queen of Pentacles energy that allows us to really step into rooting, you know, rooting the energy into material reality. And there she is right there. You know? No more illusions. No more wondering what's in this cup that's being offered to me. Is it something worthwhile? You know, you got the King of Cups coming. King of Cups is a solid offer, right? You're moving out of that indecision. You know, you realize that you're the one who kept yourself trapped in the past. You weren't really trapped. You weren't really being held back. It was your fear. It was your fear of really believing in your worth, investing in yourself. And being willing to say, you know, fuck all. Even if everybody's against me, I don't care. I know who I am. I know what I'm worth. And I'm going to stand on that. And anybody who's going to be part of my life needs to meet me there. And you took that time alone with the Hermit, right? You took that time alone. You were willing to create separation, even within your relationships. You were willing to create separation and space so you could really drop in and get right in your soul. It wasn't really so much about what the other wanted to do. What did you want to do? Where were you at? You know, you had spent so many of your years in all your different relationships focusing on the partner always, right? On the other, what do they need? How can I make them happy? You know, how can I make this work with them? How can I accommodate them? How can I please them? And there really has been a shift in consciousness for Libra Suns where they moved more towards this reality of, hey, well, you know, I have needs too. And I can fulfill them for myself. That's okay. If you don't want to, you know, if you don't want to fill this cup, I can fill it for myself. I got no problem with that. But I'm certainly not going to keep spilling out my cup to somebody who doesn't want to, you know, doesn't want to replenish mine. You know, an empty cup can't quench anyone's thirst. Ain't nobody got time for that. And just as I said that, the Queen of Swords the Queen of Swords flopped out. I'm telling you, like, Libras are really at this point where they just don't care. They don't care. People just really don't understand the Libras are just really in that space where they're not willing to compromise anymore, and they're okay. They're like, you know what? If that means I stand alone, I stand alone. I mean, that's obviously not what's going to happen. There's obviously love coming in. And that's what happens when you really represent yourself, you know? When you're willing to speak the truth. Remember? Queen of Swords is about speaking the truth, right? She speaks the truth. One of the first videos we recorded in this series, like, it ended right after I said that. Spirit was like, period. You know? She speaks the truth. And sometimes her words cut. But they always come from a place of love. And sometimes that love is tough, you know? And sometimes we even need to have those pep talks with ourselves. It's not easy, right? It really isn't easy. But we had to step into that energy, you know, and take that time alone. And take the L and take the disappointments and the relationships and the challenges and the disagreements and go, okay, you know, we're going to have to disagree. It's not going to be pretty. We're going to deal with that oppositional energy. That's fine, you know. I need to stand in what is my truth for me, and hopefully we can meet, you know. But it was like moving out of that place of really sacrificing the energy, you know. Oh, how beautiful is that, right? Again, divine pair. We got it right here. This last card that's here. I gotta find it. Okay, we had that Queen of Pentacles come out, right? We talked about that, rooting it into reality. Well, look who decided to show up on the scene. We got King of Pentacles right here. Those are divine counterparts. True pair. You know, Libras, love is what's coming in. This is a huge focus. And it looks like there's a lot of, you know, reward coming in on that level. You know, I'd like to hear about some other stuff too. I don't know about you. I don't know about you. Like, I'm not just all focused on love, but it's funny because, you know, bottom of the deck energy, we got Six of Cups. Six of Cups, again, it's a soulmate card. Sometimes it can be a past energy. Sometimes it can be, you know, a reunion energy. So like we already brought that in, that if you've been having a challenge in one of your relationships, you know, there could be a healing, a reconciliation, you know. This card in particular, she's, there's this woman figure that's holding this very nurturing, motherly energy. She's with a child here, right? So, you know, for me, this is really like, you did a lot of work around your mom. I've been picking up this for a while too, you know. The way you saw your mother, you know, kind of hold her energy in relationships. What was that like? And did you feel nurtured by your mom, you know? And did you take on roles in relationships where you kind of played the mom, right? There's a lot of different ways that energy could play out. But you did a lot of healing work around the mother archetype, right, in your relationships, and deep stuff from your childhood, a lot of integrative work in that part too, and just understanding what you learned about love as a child and what you took on, you know, and how that affected your relationships. And you know, you really reconnected with yourself and learned how to like embrace the mom within, you know, that could give you that nourishment and that love and that care that maybe wasn't always present when you were a child. You know, maybe you didn't always feel nurtured and held in that way. Maybe, you know, you didn't always feel connected to your mother, and that was something that's always been a challenge for you. Maybe your mother, you know, was very docile, you know, with your father, and she didn't really have a voice in the relationship. I'm just, you know, letting whatever wants to come through. I know there's a lot of different people that will watch this reading, and so I'm speaking to a lot of different people that I want to help you like connect with the messages that are for you. So there's a lot of different ways that energy could play out, but really looking at the mother and how she relates, that nurturing quality, you know, what those relationships were like, what kind of relationships your mother was in, what you saw when you were growing up, and how that affected your view of love and your ability to receive love, and also how you showed up in relationship. You know, were there codependent tendencies? Looking at all these pieces and doing a lot of deep work. But this is also, Six of Cups is also traditionally, it's a soulmate card. We got a lot of soulmate cards on deck here, all right? We got Six of Cups. We got the Lovers. We have Two of Cups. We have Ten of Cups. We have the divine counterparts of the King of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles. You know, if we had Emperor show up, we got Empress right here, right? Okay, so if we had Emperor show up, then we would be really cooking. Top of the deck energy, okay? Ace of Cups. Again, I don't know what to tell you. This is a love reading, and I didn't anticipate that. And that's a new beginning of love and a very beautiful start to love, you know. So it looks like really this is the focus for Libra Suns for this year, the overarching theme, right?